People really like Eiichiro Oda's One Piece because it has cool and memorable characters. Heroes like Monkey D. Luffy, Roronoa Zoro, Vinsmoke Sanji, and even side characters like Trafalgar Law and Shanks are favorites among fans. In a series with more than 1,000 characters, some really good heroes don't get enough attention. Even though they're awesome, us fans don't give them the credit they deserve. These underrated One Piece heroes should be recognized just like the more popular ones in the story. But here's the thing, I believe there are loads of One Piece battles that haven't received fair attention, mostly because they don't feature Luffy. So, as someone who always supports the underdog that fights for the little guy, and is crazy about Japan's top-selling manga franchise ever, I'm gonna list some underrated One Piece fights that don't involve our main guy Monkey D. Luffy or the other two members of the monster trio, Zoro and Sanji. These fights might not be well known, but they definitely deserve a spot on any One Piece combat highlight reel. Number 10. During the Straw Hat Crew's adventure on the Sky Island, they faced the Divine Soldiers led by Enel. Yama is a Burkan and the commander of the Divine Soldiers under Enel. He came upon Nico Robin, who was studying the ruins of Shandora. The fight between Robin and Yama isn't like the others. It's not a long, drawn-out battle. Instead, it's a quick brawl followed by Robin systematically taking Yama apart. That's why I included this fight here. A. It's amazing, and B. Even though Robin is all about books and history, she's also incredibly strong when she needs to be. Robin will seriously mess you up. She's not joking around. Number 9. Taking place during the Punk Hazard arc on the titular island, it makes sense why this fight isn't often brought up. This arc was mainly setting the stage for the much bigger and longer Dressrosa arc that followed right after. And that arc was setting things up for the current and also very long Wano arc with many of the same characters. Because of this, Punk Hazard ended up feeling pretty forgettable in the big picture. The fight brought out some great moments for both Law and Smoker. For Law, it showed that his haki, which is basically a sign of his determination, was stronger than Virgo's. This made it clear how much he cared about taking down Doflamingo. As for Smoker, who's always had a complicated relationship with pirates since he first appeared, it gave him more respect for them. He's a character who believes in the Navy's duty and position, but he's not so stuck in his ways that he can't see who the real bad guys are. That's what's made him such a likable character.
Luffy-senpai, 今は実力はまだまだだと思う。もっともっと強くなって、あんたのお役に立てる男に、おらなるべよ!
Number 8. Bartolomeo vs. Gladius. Bartolomeo's fight against Gladius in One Piece is intense and memorable. It shows Bardo's cleverness and determination. He uses his barrier fruit powers smartly, making barriers to shield himself and his friends from Gladius's explosions. Bartolomeo also shows quick thinking and strategy, finding ways to turn Gladius's attacks against him. One of the best parts of the fight is Bardo's loyalty to Luffy and his crew. He risks his life to keep them safe, which adds an emotional layer to the battle. Overall, the fight is exciting and shows Bartolomeo's growth as a character. It's a standout moment in the Dressrosa arc of One Piece. Number 7. Usopp and Chopper vs. Mr. 4, Miss Merry Christmas and Lasso. Usopp is a cowardly sharpshooter and Chopper is a little reindeer man. Mr. 4 is a rotund dude with a giant baseball bat. Miss Merry Christmas can transform into a mole, and Lasso is a gun that's also a dog. All of this sounds like One Piece Mad Libs, but when combined, it makes for one of the most exciting fights in the Alabasta arc. You see, Usopp and Chopper aren't the strongest members of the Straw Hat crew, and they probably never will be. They often seem more like they're there to panic about big waves or giant fish. So, they're not the ones who usually take down the big bad guys. Instead, they deal with the oddball henchmen. This whole fight is a mix of the weirdness that makes One Piece awesome and a surprisingly tough challenge that pushes Chopper and Usopp to their limits.
Oi, じゃあよ、あの女は勝ったら俺が妻にもらうぞ!
Number 6. The Sai vs Lao G fight in One Piece is often underrated, but it shouldn't be overlooked. It's a showdown between two lesser-known characters that packs a punch. The battle showcases their unique fighting styles and adds depth to the Dressrosa arc. Plus, with Baby Five's comedic interference and her eventual engagement to Sai, it adds a lighthearted twist to the intensity of the fight. Sai's display of determination and loyalty during the battle exemplifies why he belongs to the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Overall, it's a standout moment in the series that combines action, humor, and character development. Number 5. Nico Robin vs Black Maria. Nico Robin doesn't fight much in One Piece. Her last big battle before the Wano Country arc was against Yama in the Skypiea arc. Since then, she's had a few small fights like the one with Hammond on Fishman Island. But things changed in the Wano Country arc when Robin faced off against Black Maria, a tough member of the Toboropo. At first, Black Maria had the upper hand with her skills, but Robin surprised everyone by using two new powers, Grande Fleur and then Demonio Fleur, to turn the tables and defeat her decisively. Number 4. Oden vs Kaido. The fight between Oden and Kaido often doesn't get enough credit because of a few reasons. Firstly, it's not shown as much as other big battles, so fans don't get a full picture of what happened. Also, since Oden loses and gets executed, some fans might not think it's as important as fights where the good guys win. Plus, with so much going on in the Wano Country arc and other fights happening, the Oden vs Kaido showdown can get overlooked. But even though it's not talked about as much, it's a really important moment in One Piece, showing how strong Oden was and setting up what comes next in the story. Number 3. Ace vs Blackbeard. Ace finally found Blackbeard on Bannero Island in the Grand Line after a long search. Blackbeard wants to trade Ace's head to the Marines for a seat as a warlord of the seas. They had a big fight there and showing off their powers. Ace's Mera Mera no Mi and Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi Devil Fruit abilities. Ace threw everything that he had Blackbeard's way and managed to injure him quite a lot as well. However, Blackbeard was simply on a different level compared to him. The fight ended in Ace's failure, which triggered the biggest war in One Piece to date. Number 2. Franky vs Senor Pink. The fight between Franky and Senor Pink isn't very flashy. If you're expecting fancy moves from Franky or cool gadgets hidden in his cyborg body, you might be disappointed. It mostly boils down to Franky punching Senor Pink and Senor Pink suplexing Franky. It's like a video game where both players just keep pressing the same button. But when you think about Senor Pink's sad backstory and Franky's sense of honor, their endurance in the fight becomes pretty cool. And when Franky wins and tells Senor Pink, "If we meet again someday, let's have a drink and talk about the woman named Russian," it's both touching and shows what a great guy Franky is. And our number 1 spot, Pedro vs Tamago. This fight is becoming ridiculously awesome in the best possible way. Tamago has the egg fruit, which works differently from the usual Zoan-type devil fruits. His power is more abstract and complicated. He starts as Baron Tamago the egg form, then changes to Viscount Hyoko the chick form when cracked, and finally becomes Count Niwatori a chicken form when broken again. It's like a puzzle, making us wonder which came first, the chicken or the egg. As this fight gets goofier, it also gets cooler. We see how tough Pedro is. He used to be the captain of the Nox Pirates and faced Big Mom on Whole Cake Island. Pedro's mink fighting skills match up well against Baron Tamago. This fight really deserves more praise. The animation, music, and dialogue are all top-notch. Pedro is an amazing character, and his badass fighting mixed with humor makes this fight even better. Add some beautifully animated moments, and you have a fight scene that's much more dynamic than anyone expected. That's it for our top 10 list. What do you think? Do you believe there's a fight that should be on the list but isn't? Feel free to share your own top 10 list in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to support our channel. Hit the notification bell to stay tuned for the latest anime news. Thanks for watching.